Alright, for this video, I hope the thing is kind of, I hope I look okay. I know I got a little bit of food here. I was about to eat, but then I thought I'd make a quick video. I hope you guys appreciate, I am starting to get a decent amount of views. I do appreciate it, I do notice it. I noticed the comments, someone was talking about my tattoo, and yes, my tattoos are indeed inspired by anime, and so is my brand. So if you guys don't know, it's the Eclipse clothing brand. I don't talk about it a lot, but this is the whole kind of ethos of my channel. It's to bring you guys fashion tips, to bring you guys also biohacking. Wait, is it this way? Okay, this way, my bad. Oops. Biohacking, so understanding the body, understanding attraction. This whole page is essentially there to market my ebook and my Eclipse clothing brand. So I believe I can make a pretty good clothing brand. I can just overtake a lot of these brands today because they don't understand the psychology of what people think is attractive, and that's pretty much my whole entire brand. Is I shape my brand to what's actually attractive, like what we think, what psychologically pleases us and pleases the eye. So yeah, I'm gonna eventually, over time, I want to invest in, like certain perfumes, colognes, jewelry, certain maybe even like contacts. Like I want to do everything that has to do with just aesthetics. So anybody is interested, link in the bio. It certainly would help with growing the brand. And I also will be releasing my ebook soon, which is The Psychology of Attraction. That is going to be my bread and butter. And if you haven't watched my last video, I talked about the biohacking app, which is an idea that I believe is going to it's going to be pretty big. It's going to overtake the Eclipse clothing brand if I do it correctly. So if you haven't watched that video, please watch it and then let me know what you guys think, because I'm really curious what you guys think about that idea. Because I'm trying to gather as much people who are interested so I can get a good number of who would pay for it. Because it would be a $1.99 subscription for something that would drastically change your life. Yeah, anyways, the point of the video is to people who are to understand that in order to get a good chest, you gotta get good abs. So it's gonna be a quick video, not long like my 10-minute 21s, but essentially something that I do see and something that as a man I can relate to. But this isn't gonna be a video about men. It's gonna be just a gender neutral video, but something that people fail to understand whenever working out is if you're a woman and you want to work out your glutes because you want to have a really nice gluteus, in order for you to do that, you have to work out all of your legs. If you're a guy and you think you want to have a nice chest, and you want to have a nice upper body, and it seems like a good idea to just do the bench press, which I failed to understand as a kid too. But when you're a kid, you just look good naturally anyway. So you can just do the bench press and you're going to kind of get the result that you want. But if you're an adult, you can't just do the bench press in order to get the results. So if you want to get a nice chest, you need to work on your abs. Why? Because it's the difference that makes the shape. It's the contrast. So if you have a wide stomach because you drink alcohol all the time, but then you work out, but then all the alcohol and the water that you intake and all the body fat percentage goes to your stomach, but your chest and everything, and your arms are veiny and popping, people won't really care. People won't really appreciate it, and you won't be able to really see your chest either. The reason why this is because your belly is too big. Your belly is overtaking your chest. Your belly is bigger than your chest. You can have a pretty developed chest, but if you were to work on your abs, then your chest will pop out. No matter how small your chest is, people don't really care about size. People care about proportion. A lot of the people who do, bodybuilding, and they do these competitions for bodybuilding, what the judges are judging you on is proportion. How does everything look? Do you have an oversized gluteus in proportion to your upper body? Is your whole lower body bigger than your upper body to an extent that makes it just look really strange and unnatural? And vice versa, does your upper body look really over grotesque and overdone in comparison to your calves? Proportion is very important, and even though you might not everybody aspires to be, like Channing Tatum or Zac Efron in that movie. What was it? What was that beach movie called? I can't think of the name now. But he looked really good in that movie. He doesn't look good these days. He's still in shape, but that was probably his best physique. Not everybody aspires to be that, but with that said, if you want to grow a certain body part, you have to work everything. If you want nice abs, I found that you need to work your back, and vice versa. If you want a nice back, the kind of back that almost has like a six pack in the back, if you're not working your abs, then that means that, like, if you're not working your abs at all, then that means that a lot of the fat that's going into your belly, especially as a guy, is going to just hang over. Versus if you have muscle, it's going to keep everything tight. So yeah, you're going to have a lot of water that's going to your stomach, but because you work out your abs, it just keeps it tight. It keeps it from hanging. And when it hangs on the backside, you start to get these love handles. So you're thinking you're just going to work the back and everything's going to be fine, and you're just going on the machine, and you don't have to work on the balance or anything. You don't have to work your core because you're not working on balance, you're working on the machine. Then what happens is your back doesn't look amazing because a little bit of it is hanging from your belly. Whereas if you work your abs, it's gonna make it just a little bit more tighter. Like, you're gonna be able to see, not necessarily your veins, but you're gonna be able to see just the differences in like shadows. Like, you'll be able to see, because all abs is just the shadow effect, and a lot of the muscles just, again, a shadow effect. It's the difference in the size itself isn't it, but if your overall arm is big without any of this right here, then you won't be able to see any of the muscles. And that's what happens with anything. Like, if I want to get my shoulders big, I need to work on my triceps, because right here, even right here, tricep is here and it's here too. Which, if this is fat, then the shoulder is just gonna look like black. Like, it's gonna look like one big arm. It's not gonna be any difference. You can work shoulders all you want. This is all fat, and you're not gonna see a difference. Triceps, if I want to work the triceps, make it look big, you have to work fucking everything. It's the whole point of this video. And I think that people don't know this enough, and I want to make sure that it's out there and it's explained properly, and that I don't even hear bodybuilders or body gurus or scientists, really dive deep into this, that you have to work everything. There is no getting around it. No matter what body part you want to build and you want it to look nice. I work on the neck to make myself look somewhat in the face more symmetrical, for my jawline to pop out more. And if I want my jawline to look good, I gotta work on the neck. I might pull a photo here now of Jeremy Meeks, one of the hottest. I'll talk about him at length in my ebook and in these videos of how handsome he is. But there's a Photoshop video of him. Maybe it wasn't Photoshop. There's a video of him out there where his neck looks scrawny, and that's not masculine. He looks horrible. Like, his jawline, everything, just all the features that make him, same photo of him, like same exact photo, but they just make the neck scrawny. And he looks horrible. He doesn't look like a model. The features just don't work as well. It just looks weird. But if you want to work on your neck, you got to work on the traps. If you want, the traps to look nice, but, the neck, like, you gotta work everything. Like, if you want the neck to look good, you gotta work on the traps. The traps on its own, if you don't care, then you don't gotta work everything else from there. But if you want to just make the neck look good, then you have to work on the traps. But if you want to make the traps look good, then you have to lose the body fat percentage in order to get this right here, where you can see this line. This line right here. So you gotta get your body fat percentage low so that this line can come out, so that there's a difference between your chest and your traps. Otherwise, if you don't get this effect right here, you don't get this shadow, then your chest and traps are going to look the same. Therefore, you're just going to look like Ed from the 30 Day Fiancé, big neck. You're not going to see the difference. You have to work everything. I can't say this enough, and I can't stress it enough. Too many people, and myself included as a kid, just worked on the upper body. We dreamed about getting on the bench, dreamed about that number going up higher. Plate 35, okay, cool. Okay, plate 25, that's fine, but plate 25, 35 now. Now plate 45 now. Now 225 pounds. That is way too common in the gym bro space. And same thing for women. If you want to work your gluteus, you don't want to look like a Kardashian where you're looking like, the ant from the Ant movie, and you just got this effect where your quads look terrible and underdeveloped, but you got a really fat like ass. Sorry, I'm really bad at cursing. You got a really fat ass, but everything else looks bad. That doesn't look good at all. That is not. I'm gonna make another video about hyperfemininity and hypermasculinity and why that's not attractive right after this video, but that's not ideal. It's not what is most attractive. If you want to work on your gluteus and you want it to stand out even more, then you have to work on the quads. Like, you have to work on everything on your legs. Like, for people to notice the differences, that you have to see it happen at each muscle group. Otherwise, it's just one hanging fat. It doesn't work as well. So that's the premise of this video. I hope that helps. I hope if anybody's out there and is thinking, if you're below average and you have a concave chest, then yeah. Something we're going to talk about too is people not utilizing this hyper. I'm trying to think of the word. I'm sorry. You can work on muscles and you can not work on muscles. I can't think of the word for some reason today. I don't know why, but people don't utilize how much benefit there is to not working in the muscles. And I've talked about this when it came to cheekbones. If you haven't seen that video, you should watch it. I just ate, so I'm not looking amazing in terms of my facial structure. But if you don't, there's a muscle right here, and it's really long, that is overworked whenever you're eating for the most part. This has been lost to like the average lay person. Like, the elite people know this. You see this with the way they eat. And you get told this in the military too. But for the most part, it's just lost to the common man. We eat burgers, but then the food just goes out here, and we work this muscle, and then we start getting chubby cheeks because this is a muscle too. But if you don't work this muscle and you eat essentially like an adult way, which is to use your teeth, use your tongue primarily, the back of your mouth, then you start to work the masseter muscles more, and you start to see the difference, and you start to get like your cheeks start to shrink in, so you get shrunken cheeks, but then your cheekbones are going to become more pronounced because of it, give you a more high definition look. Whereas if you eat a burger, then your face is literally going to look like a burger. Your face is going to look really big, it's very soggy, and you're going to be using these muscles primarily. So in utilizing and understanding that certain muscles, if you want to fix asymmetry, as in this, you've been jerking off too much, your right hand's too big, or whatever it may be, left hand, whatever body part there is, then you just need to stop working it. Stop working it and then start overworking something else. Because proportion is everything. Even if you're small, but you got the right proportions, such as a bigger chest, smaller waist, bigger gluteus, smaller legs, that is amazing. But having overdone, overproportioned, oversized muscle groups is not ideal, depending on where it is, especially. So if you have a concave chest, then you need to work on the chest, but then you just probably stop working on other features, such as shoulders, because it's only going to make it more pronounced how concave your chest is. Now, I know that kind of sucks, because ideally you want everything to be big, so you don't want this to start shrinking. You want this to grow and everything else, but for the time being, if you want your chest to just become more proportioned to everything else, you're going to need to overwork that and underwork everything else. And that's important. I'm not going to get too much in length to that, but that's something that kind of aligns with the premise of this video, which is, again, to start working everything. So stop working everything, and then understand that you need to stop working certain things in order to get the ideal proportion, which in another video I'll probably start going into more detail on the numbers and just exactly the statistics of what's most ideal. But yeah, I'll make another video of that. But you could also find it in my ebook as well, which will be releasing soon. I hope that helps. It was a quick video, so I hope you found that very helpful.